NBC 10 News starts now.
Shortly after 8 a.m., our suspect was captured.
After a manhunt that lasted 14 days and spanned 3 counties, shuttered schools.
I probably didn't sleep as well as I could have knowing that last night.
Concerned neighbors.
We're terrified, just as everyone else here in Phoenixville.
And put communities at the center of his search.
Our nightmare is finally over and the good guys won.
Danilo Cavalcante is now again in police custody and will serve a life sentence. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jacqueline London.
And I'm Fred Shropshire. The massive manhunt is finally over, ending in the woods of Chester County. State police made the announcement this morning.
This is a message from the Pennsylvania State Police. The search for Danilo Cavalcante is over. The subject is now in custody.
A U.S. Border Patrol K-9 helped with the capture. This is a picture of Yoda holding on to Cavalcante after a tactical team moved in on him. Minutes later, Cavalcante was on his feet, being led into custody. The U.S. Marshal Service released this picture within the past hour. The Pennsylvania Department of Corrections has released the mugshot of Danilo Cavalcante. About 2 hours ago, he was processed at SCI Phoenix in Montgomery County. That is a maximum security prison.
We have a team of reporters fanned out across the area covering every angle of the manhunt and capture. Tim Furlong is talking with neighbors who are relieved tonight. Let's start, though, with Deanna Durante, who is live in Avondale. Deanna, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, this is the place where they took Danilo Cavalcante earlier today. He spent about 4 hours inside the police barracks here. We know that he was arraigned via video, so he appeared before a judge. There was a translator here to help him. We know that police wanted to interview him. He got a meal, and they provided him with a hospital gown so he could change out of his clothes before he was taken off to a state prison. There are cheers as Danilo Cavalcante is placed in a federal armored vehicle, heading to a state prison. Those cheers not for the convicted killer, but for the law enforcement that spent 13 days tracking the escapee.
Cavalcante did not realize he was surrounded until that had occurred.
Police moved in, tightening the search area late last night. Evidence was found, and as police were checking it out, a burglar alarm was tripped in a house nearby. That pushed more officers into the zone.
Close to 1 a.m., picked up a heat signal that they began to track.
But then the storms came in, grounding air units and putting the efforts on pause. Once they moved on, additional SWAT units came in.
And shortly after 8 a.m., tactical teams converged on the area where the heat source was. They were able to move in very quietly. They had the element of surprise.
Still armed. Once Cavalcante realized police were there, they say he tried to crawl away, holding on to that gun.
They released the dog. Some of our PSP CERT members were also there, had him surrounded. The dog subdued him, and team members from both of those teams immediately moved in. He continued to resist, but was forcibly taken into custody.
This is a message from the Pennsylvania State Police.
With Cavalcante in custody, residents who'd been living on the edge for 2 weeks learned he was back in handcuffs.
The search for Danilo Cavalcante is over.
Tonight, the convicted murderer is not only being held on that life sentence, but the Pennsylvania Attorney General has filed escape charges against him. Cavalcante has a preliminary hearing scheduled for later this month. We can predict here that that will probably be a video hearing, even if it happens as scheduled. One thing we do not know, we know that investigators tried to interview him through an interpreter. We do not know if they were able to get the answers to their questions, including what did he do for those 2 weeks? And did anybody help him? But earlier today, the governor and state police vowed to find out anyone who was aiding him and charge them criminally. In Avondale, Deanna Durante, NBC 10 News.
Deanna, thanks. This all started on August 31st when Cavalcante escaped from the Chester County prison by crab walking up a wall and making his getaway. The first sighting of Cavalcante came a few days later. Then he was seen at Longwood Gardens. A few days after that, he stole a van and was spotted by a former co-worker's house. He eventually stole a rifle, and that led up to today's capture.
As Cavalcante made his way across Chester County, communities were on edge naturally. NBC 10's Tim Furlong spoke with neighbors about the capture and a returning sense of normalcy in the area.
From the time he escaped to this moment, almost 2 full weeks later,
proud to announce the subject is in custody.
Folks around the various and evolving search areas couldn't go to Longwood Gardens and wouldn't go to other wooded places like Anson-Nixon Park in Kennett.
We completely had to avoid that, obviously, and stay clear of places like this, especially when he was seen up in this area.
Certainly there was an abundance of state troopers and police cars, and every other car that you drove past was a state trooper, so that was different.
The owner of Sky Cleaners along Route 1 is relieved to know Cavalcante is locked back up and that his customers are safe and will hopefully now be spending money again at his and other local businesses, including this one in downtown Kennett Square.
Like anytime it was felt like close quarters in Longwood, we would lock the door, put a sign on, doors locked, please knock, and then we would let people in kind of one by one. We're excited to get back to the normal traffic we usually have and all that good stuff.
And the fear wasn't contained to folks in any one search perimeter. Everybody in the area was concerned. Families out west of Kennett Square, where I live in northern Delaware, folks east into Delaware County. Everyone was worried because they just didn't know where this guy was going to go next. Well, we know he is now going back to a prison cell. Hopefully it's far more secure than the facility he escaped 2 weeks ago.
So yeah, we're just really happy that he's been caught, and I hope justice is served.
In Kennett Square, Tim Furlong, NBC 10 News.
And a big question many had throughout this manhunt: did Danilo Cavalcante have help evading authorities?
And today, law enforcement revealed a little more about his efforts to get help. According to state police, Cavalcante's sister was someone who intended to help him. Earlier this week, they told us she was uncooperative with the investigation. We also know Cavalcante tried to contact at least 2 former co-workers. He was even caught on one of their ring cameras while still on the run. Both reported him to police, but it remains unclear who else, if anyone, tried to help him.
There were people who were intent and intended to assist him. We had been successful, to the best of my knowledge, we had been successful in preventing that assistance from reaching him.
State police say they didn't find any means of communication on Cavalcante when he was captured.
A group photo of Cavalcante's capture has been posted by a former U.S. House member and shared significantly on social media. You can see how members of law enforcement surrounded the prisoner, then posed for the picture. During a news conference earlier today, the lieutenant colonel of the Pennsylvania State Police addressed this photo.
Those men and women worked amazingly hard through some very trying circumstances. They're proud of their work. I'm not bothered at all by the fact that they took a photograph with him in custody. Again, they're proud of their work. They kept the community safe. I say thanks to them and good job.
It wasn't immediately clear what law enforcement agency or agencies were involved in the impromptu photo. Policies for taking photos with captured suspects vary. Count on NBC 10 for complete coverage of the capture of Danilo Cavalcante and the aftermath of the manhunt. Hear from witnesses and officials who led this search. That's on NBC10.com and on the free NBC 10 app. Turning now to the other headlines we are following today. The Delaware man who carjacked U.S. Representative Mary Gay Scanlon at gunpoint is going to prison.
Today, a judge sentenced Josiah Brown to 7.5 years behind bars. The carjacking happened at FDR Park in South Philadelphia in December of 2021. Scanlon said she quickly handed over her keys, credit cards, purse, and cell phone as Brown and his accomplices pointed a gun at her chest. Police were able to track the vehicle back to his home in Wilmington within hours. Brown apologized in court today. Scanlon asked for leniency, but the judge said she was bound by mandatory sentencing laws. The Pennsylvania man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students is in court today. The attorneys for Brian Kohlberger are asking the judge to ban cameras from his trial. The trial was supposed to begin next month, but Kohlberger waived his right to a speedy trial. A new date hasn't yet been set.
Slot machines and phone lines are still down at MGM Resorts because of that cyber attack. The attack also crippled reservation systems and prevented digital room keys from working. The Borgata in Atlantic City was one of the resorts affected. According to reports, the company is working with outside cybersecurity experts to help get their systems back online. A community at the shore is paying tribute to a wounded warrior.
Ted Greenberg has a preview.
A show of thanks and gratitude for a wounded warrior treated to a free vacation at the shore that came with a surprise start.
This is so unexpected, man. It's overwhelming.
I'm Ted Greenberg. How it's a special welcome that's years overdue.
Plus, the banged up Birds. Who will be on the sidelines when the Eagles play their home opener tomorrow night? We'll have an update on Eagles injuries ahead in sports.
Well, we have fantastic weather when it comes to football. We have noticed a little bit of some humid conditions today, but we go down on the muggy meter, what everyone wants to hear. We'll talk about how long the fall-like conditions will stick around coming up in just a few.
Our big story today, the 2-week manhunt for escaped prisoner Danilo Cavalcante is over. A tactical team captured him in South Coventry Township just after 8 o'clock this morning. No shots were fired. Police say he resisted arrest and suffered a bite from a canine. Cavalcante is now at State Correctional Facility, Phoenix Prison in Montgomery County. And when the first pictures of Danilo's capture started surfacing, people immediately took to social media.
That's because he's wearing an Eagles hoodie. It's still not clear who he stole it from, but Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro has a message for that person.
Folks, whoever had their Eagles hoodie stolen, if you could let us know, I'll do my best to get you one of those new Kelly Green ones, okay?
Cavalcante had been changing his clothes and appearances during the manhunt. We'll let you know if the true owner of the Eagles hoodie comes forward. The manhunt and capture of Cavalcante's captured has made international headlines. You can hear from witnesses of the capture and watch the entire news conference on NBC10.com and the NBC10 app.
Turning to other news now, a surprise parade at the Jersey Shore for a wounded warrior. This is how an American hero and his family kicked off a free vacation at the beach. NBC 10 Jersey Shore Bureau reporter Ted Greenberg tells us why the welcome was long overdue.
Gotcha. Thank you for your service. Thanks, brother.
Philip Fong's embracing his latest mission, but this one is focused on fun and relaxation.
This is so much more than I could have ever expected.
The retired Navy Chief Petty Officer, his wife, and 3 sons kicking off a week-long stay at this house that's steps from the beach in Longport. The family from Florida treated to an all-expenses-paid vacation.
This is like once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us to all share this experience. It means the world.
They knew about the trip in advance, but the welcoming motorcade parade through Ventnor, Margate, and Longport Tuesday evening came as a complete surprise that was years overdue.
This is so unexpected, man. It's overwhelming.
For 12 years now, American Legion Post 469 has coordinated with the military to host a wounded warrior for a special week at the Jersey Shore. Fong became gravely ill after he contracted malaria while serving in Africa in 2008. He was in a coma for weeks, spent 6 months in the hospital, and endured a year-long recovery.
We wanted to give him something that they didn't get when they came home the first time.
It happened in 2008, and to know that, you know, he's not forgotten is amazing.
Donations from the community make all of this possible. The family provided with airfare, a limo ride from the airport, and of course, the house they're staying in. It comes complete with a fully stocked kitchen.
We tell them that they won't have to spend a dime.
Man, talk about emotion, man. Like, speechless.
A show of gratitude and thanks for this honored guest who's finally being treated like royalty. Ted Greenberg, NBC 10 News.
Turning now to your forecast, we're about to get a taste of fall. Taking a live look outside, weather was great throughout the end of the week.
First Alert meteorologist Michelle Rotella here now with a look at our weather.
All right, fantastic for the start of football for us here at home. Looking like fall, feeling like fall. That's what we have for the late week. Comfortable temperatures, they continue right on through. We will say Friday through Saturday, since we are tracking Lee, that is well offshore, that could bring some breezy conditions and some increasing clouds through parts of the day. And then Sunday, maybe some afternoon showers. And both days, Sunday and Monday, looking like they'll be a touch above average. Average this time of year is 80 degrees, so we'll see them just a few degrees above that. All right, well, there's the upper level low. You can kind of see that spinning just to the north of the Great Lakes. And then here's the cold front that is still providing some active weather across parts of Rhode Island at this time, parts of Connecticut, but really all the showers that we've been seeing, they're moving offshore at this time. Can't rule out an isolated shower over the next few hours, but really drier air is going to work its way in across the region. We're going to feel and see the dew points go down. That's for sure. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, it will be noticeably different. And you can really tell when you see the regional map where the cold front has pressed its way through. You have 60s for Buffalo, for Cleveland, State College at 73, and we still have some 80s here for DC and for Philly. So we will also get on that action as well with temperatures in the 70s, more so for tomorrow and a couple of days to come after that. Overnight, though, very pleasant to be out and about if you do have any plans. And if you're someone who likes temperatures in the 50s at night, something cool, crisp, refreshing, you can crack the window open. Lehigh Valley, 56, suburbs, 58 as well. Here in Philly, you'll wake up with some temperatures in the 60s, but high pressure. It moves right on in, provides a northwesterly flow, makes it feel dry. You have ample sunshine. Temperatures will be in the 70s. If you have any plans to do any tailgating tomorrow around noon, temperatures will be 73 degrees. Overall high temperature tomorrow, forecasting a high of 77 in Philadelphia. And then if you're heading to the game, again, fantastic weather. Kickoff, halftime, fourth quarter, all of it looking nice. Friday, we start to see high pressure breaking down a little bit. We'll be sandwiched in between these two systems. So you have life-threatening rip currents, swells, and seas. Waves could be exceeding 10 feet. So that's something to watch at the shore. Further inland, we could potentially see a few clouds, especially in the afternoon hours. Same deal for Saturday, not to mention gusty winds as well. But then by the time we get to Sunday, we watch our next weather maker that could provide some light showers into the afternoon and evening hours. Not a washout, but just some light showers to talk about. And then by Monday, you're looking at temperatures into the 80s, which again, it does look like it will be more of a seasonable feel. Fred?
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Michelle. And the Eagles are looking forward to those clear skies tomorrow for their season opener.
Yeah, fans today had a chance to show that team spirit. It was a sea of Eagles green on the Comcast Plaza in Center City. Like a swoop was there. Fans also had a chance to try their hand at throwing a football. Eagles legend Ron Jaworski was there, signing autographs for people who showed up. And members of the team's cheerleading squad were also on hand. And that sea of green is going to fill the stadium and Philly streets tomorrow.
John Clark from NBC Sports Philadelphia joins us now. John, we're counting down to the kickoff for the Birds.
Yeah, great weather, and the one problem is they're going to be missing 4 starters tomorrow night against the Vikings. We're going to have those details and hear from the Birds, and Bryce Harper says this just can't happen. We'll tell you what it is next on the Phillies. Stay tuned.
This is Sports Desk, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Switch to Xfinity Mobile. Visit xfinitymobile.com or visit a store today.
Hey everybody, I am John Clark. The Eagles are going to be without 4 starters tomorrow night against the Vikings, 3 on defense and 1 on offense. The Vikings are also going to be missing their center, Garrett Bradbury. So on offense, the Birds will be without running back Kenny Gainwell. He is out with a rib injury. Maybe DeAndre Swift will get more carries. Probably so. On defense, they're going to be without cornerback James Bradbury. He has a concussion. Safety Reed Blankenship hurt his ribs right here on Sunday. He's out, and Nakobe Dean is out. That leaves the Eagles a lot thinner on defense. This is a big challenge for defensive coordinator Sean Desai.
We'll go with some of the guys that we've got up, and we feel really good about them. A lot of them have, like you guys have asked all camp, like we've been rotating guys and putting guys in different spots, and that's part of the reason. That's the NFL season is guys get injured, and so you got to have plans in place, and we've done a good job through training camp to prepare different guys in different spots, and so we'll be able to roll that out there, and we feel good about the guys that we'll be able to put out.
Former Bird safety and Super Bowl champ Malcolm Jenkins will be an honorary captain tomorrow night. They may need him to help out at safety. Last year, of course, the Birds beat the Vikings 24-7. Once again, That was also in the home opener. Darius Slay did a great job covering maybe the best receiver in the NFL, Justin Jefferson. He held Justin to just one catch. Slay had 2 interceptions while he was on Justin. Here are Slay and Justin on the rematch.
I'm sure he probably watched film. He corrected himself. He watched my film. He got better probably this offseason. I'll try to do my best to get better as well. So, it's just competitive nature.
We have some things we got to get back on them on. Just having the loss last year is definitely, some tension going into the game.
We like tension. Jake Elliott was named the NFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Phillies tonight, they're going to be facing Spencer Strider and the Braves. The Cubs lost this afternoon, so the Phillies are now up 3 games in the loss column for the top wild card spot. Cubs helping them out. Last night, the Phillies got down 6-1 to Atlanta. 3 home runs got them all tied up. In the 9th right here, Trey Turner, he ties it up. Phillies came back again. But for the 3rd time over the last 7 home games, they did not complete the comeback and get the win. They lost in extra innings.
Can't let it happen, especially this late in the season. And we got to win these games, plain and simple. We're playing some really good teams, of course, and we're going to play some more good teams down the stretch. But these are the games, especially at home, that we need to come out on top and win these games.
Right now, right this second, it's kind of tough, but I feel like we move on pretty well here. And even yesterday we got beaten in that first one and kind of bounced back quick. So we know we can do it.
We will have Phillies highlights at 11. I am John Clark. We're right back.
All right, now the 76ers help students at H.B. Wilson Family School in Camden kick off the school year with a lot of energy. Squad 76 joined Sixers players in Franklin to help school leaders across the Camden City School District share the importance of attending school. The district hopes today's rallies energize students and teachers heading into the new school year. It's like a lot of fun. Well, here's what's coming up next on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Hurricane Lee's new path, what it means for people along the coast. Plus, Iran drones. Lester Holt is just back from Iran and asking if the country is helping Russia. At body cam outrage, an officer heard laughing after a deadly car crash killed a student. We'll see you back here at 7 o'clock. Nightly News with Lester Holt starts right now.